Hello, all back again. Thought I'd have a little fun today. I do believe I might have mentioned this in another video, but I'm going to talk about this amazing anomaly in Genesis 1:1 and John 1:1 right at the very beginning, and we're going to talk significantly actually about many other numerical anomalies and gematria, as we call them, values. Gematria is this kind of mystical tool used in ancient Hebrew kind of cosmology that links, and it's found in Greek and it's found in English as well. And you can always see the stages of the evolution in how this was actually computed into new languages as time went by. And I think there's definitely something in this beautiful art in crafting languages that have numerical qualities, and they're shifting through nations and through languages as we now get to kind of modern English, and there is English gematria. That is very interesting, and there's another kind of septenary cipher, this cipher in sevens, using kind of 7 as the unit, but we're going to go through that in later videos. But this is going to be interesting. It's not going to be very long. Going to talk about what I've put together here in one of the books I've been writing, and I'm going to share my screen momentarily. I've just got to find where I wrote this. But we're going to look at John 1:1, of course, and Genesis 1:1, and we're going to find out that there's an absolutely amazing quirk in this stuff. In these, sorry, I'm going to have to find it again. I can't believe this, John 1:1. Yeah, there we go. So I'm just going to read this quickly, and then we're going to just have a look at some places that you can verify this for yourselves. And I've written currently now, what is it, 44 pages on this, just looking at ciphers in the Bible, the New Testament, as well as ciphers that relate to Greek gods and the Greco-Roman world, and go straight back into ancient Egypt, from where we get our essentially Hebrew religion, basically, as far as I'm concerned, anyway, as far as quite a few other people are concerned. So now, for a real doozy, this blew me away when I discovered its existence. We can also take the first verse of Genesis and the first verse of John. And remember, John is quite a Gnostic-looking gospel. John stands alone within the 4 gospels. It stands apart from the rest because it doesn't really follow this such a kind of concrete historical kind of trying to historicize kind of framework. Mentions many other things that aren't in the canonical works, and is actually prized by some of the Gnostics, really. But let's go on. We then derive both pi and e, Euler's E constant, to a degree of accuracy that's difficult to attribute to mere chance. Both these constants have already reared their heads in the course of this study, my study there, but now they will appear again, and both to a whopping 4 decimal points. You're going to see this is quite profound. Both are absolutely fundamental to growth geometrically and through time. All you need to do, and using the base 10 cipher, the one the ancient Hebrews used, fitting for obvious reasons, is to take the number of the words and multiply them by the product, the multiplication of the words, then take the number of letters and do precisely the same thing, multiply the number of letters by the product of the letters. Now, if that doesn't make sense, I will help or show you where you can just find this out yourselves. It is actually quite simple. When you divide the results of letters versus the words, you get pi for Genesis and Euler's E base for John. So let's recap. Genesis and John, both 1:1. Both at the very outset encode 2 core functions in numbers that relate to the harmony and proportion of growth geometrically all across the living world. And that's in Genesis, and the rate of growth through time. John, with an accuracy of 4 decimal places for both. And the results being respectively. So here's pi 31415, and remember it stops there, so it's not absolutely amazing perfect. It's only 4 decimal places, and 2.7182. Yes, 2.7182. That's Euler's E base. This is this logarithmic curve that tells us, that describes growth geometrically as well as asymptotically within our universe for basically all living things. This is all just is this all just an insane coincidence? So, right? Remember, you're using addition and multiplication in quite straightforward ways. We are not torturing the numbers to pull out meanings we want to. The above formula and its respective results are what grabbed the attention of this author right here, or years ago, and since then, many similarly confounding revelations attributing numbers to words in the Bible have continued to bewilder this author. So, let me go back to StreamYard, and I'm just going to share this. So we have, and again, you can find this out very quickly. Just put in John 1:1 and Genesis 1:1 pi into Google, and you'll get these kinds of results. Now, this is so this, according to this mathematics genius here, which I am not, is a degree of accuracy 99.999993%. That's quite a lot. It's not bad. And remember, every time you add a decimal place, you're timesing by 100, I think, essentially. So 1 times 100 for the next one times 100 for the next, and it always goes up like this. It's a huge degree of, pretty profound precision. So we just, I'm not going to make this a long video, but I thought I'd just explain this, because this is really one of the biggest wows in this whole thing. And remember, it's Genesis and John. So Genesis is computing for growth geometrically, like in the world, in time, and John is doing it, in time. So space and time. Genesis and John in exactly the same place, using exactly the same methodology, the same formula, and it's basic. So I just wanted to, and this is this here. So what I was saying is the product of the letters, so timesing the letters, times the number of the letters, divided by the product of the words, times the number of the words. That's all you are doing, right? And the product is the, product is timesing, right? This is going to show you I have no problem effing up on this one. I've forgotten what the product means. Number of letters. Product means timesing the letters, I think. Number of letters times the divided by the product of the words, timesing this, times the number of the words, equals, and you'll get these two results. So you see what I mean here? And where's this? Yeah, that's that. I mean, it just is quite interesting, and you can find this out quite easily. And there are lots of people who are good at numbers who have done this as well, and really gone through the actual, a lot of reasons for why this is. And here you go, getting this right as well, making sure you're going back to the original Hebrew, getting it all down there with lots of these little ticks and strange inflections and numbers and the algebra and blah blah blah, all this crazy stuff that I don't understand because I'm absolutely rubbish with numbers. But I did understand that this was indeed what it appeared to be back when I was probably 18 or something, 18, 19, long time ago. And it's rather interesting. So going to remove that quickly. So rather a short video today, doing this on StreamYard. We are obviously talking about, we're going to get into some of this weird stuff with numbers more and more, I think, as we progress with these videos, because it's so interesting. This shows you the undercurrent of of Gnostic thought, I think, running through. Now, it could all be coincidence, and I'm absolutely willing to accept it's coincidence. At this point in time, though, I think the numbers of coincidences and the probability here that we're dealing with an actual applied science, even given that the Hebrews tell us, yes, this is our science of mystical number and letter and word and stuff like this. Oh, the word, by the way, John 1:1, I forgot. In the beginning was the word. The word is a vibration. Vibrations in what? Time. So you'll see why this is that. I forgot to mention that actually. John itself is talking about the word being made human, and that the word was God and was with God. And I think that kind of shows us subtly that there's a distinction being made between the Genesis 1:1, that series of quotes, and John as well. And it's specifically saying the word, and that being Jesus and Christ, the Alpha and Omega, and that the all stuff. If you get back to this kind of celestial reasoning behind what might be being said, I think in at least certain gospels, don't take these things literally, guys. I do believe that at some point, even the biblical writers, if you're looking at, I don't want to say if you're looking at Luke, because as you will know, I believe Luke specifically is being trashed, and Titus and his cronies are, or after the fact, after Titus died, there's this whole overlaying of the ministry of Titus into the Jesus story, and I think that's very probable as well. But yeah, the notion that we're dealing with heavily, smartly crafted, mystical doctrine here becomes fairly freaking obvious. So I want to very quickly just show you a little tidbit of, I'll just add that to the stage for a moment. And this is what I've been writing here, and I just, because I've been using Mitchell, John Mitchell, a guy called Stan Tenen, who was an amazing mind, a Jewish guy, and a lot of work from other people who have been doing work with the Septenary cipher, who I don't fully, there's difficult. I have theological differences with one or two of these people, though I really, really marvel their efforts as well. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot to go through here. So yeah, okay then, guys. So anyway, we've got a lot to get through. I had a little weekend away with my brothers, so I didn't make any videos, but we're back on it now. Peace and love. We'll be back. Yeah, man. Cool. Enjoy your day. Thanks.